We're at the Broomfield Police Department, and we're just getting ready to kick off our BPD Inside Citizen Academy.
BPD Inside allows the students the opportunity to see every division of the police department at work.
It's a little bit different than a traditional police academy in the sense that we're not teaching you to be police officers, we're not teaching you to be vigilantes. What we want you to do is have an understanding of what the police department does and how you as citizens or residents or business owners in Broomfield can help the police.
The philosophy of the Broomfield Police Department for the last 21 years has been to develop a community-oriented policing philosophy. And part of that is allowing the public and our citizens access to the police department, why we make decisions, how we do our work, so that we have real, true partnerships.
And you'll find that everyone that you will come across here, we all are excited about the program. So many officers within the department have just been excited about sharing information.
Tonight's the first night of our Inside BPD Citizen Academy. There are 4 of us planners, officers, and civilian employees that have worked at length for over a year putting together an academy that's educational and informative to the citizens of Broomfield. Tonight's the orientation night. I'm a field training officer and I've been doing it for about 9 years now. And I absolutely love sharing my knowledge with the new officers so I can see myself in their shoes and watching their growth.
One of my favorite things, I'm also a field training officer when I was in the patrol division. Absolutely one of the best times getting new officers and working with them and developing them and watching them grow and seeing when they actually click and get it and see it is amazing.
This is something that I've wanted to do for a while. So I'm a criminal justice and computer science major at Metro, and I want to hopefully become an officer one day, and I thought this would be a good way to see if it's something I still want to do.
I was interested in what goes on in the police department and just learning how they do things, and when you see them out, what they're doing, and just knowing more about what the police department does in our community.
Well, I saw the program in the newspaper, and I thought that this would be a good opportunity to learn more about the Broomfield Police Department, the inner workings, just learn more about the police that serve our community.
I love Broomfield, so I just want to learn more about the community and stuff.
I have a real desire to learn more about law enforcement.
The reaction from our citizens has always been really great. They enjoy getting to know the police officers one-on-one like they do during a program like this, and they enjoy seeing how things really work. You know, what you see on TV, on some of the TV shows, are really interesting and great entertainment, but it's not the way real police work is done. The community has a better appreciation for what their police officers do on a daily basis when they get a chance to see something like this. It's not to make necessarily a lot of arrests or write a lot of tickets and those kinds of things. It's really to solve problems to keep Broomfield a safe community. So around 1990, 1991, this new thing called community-oriented policing came out. And the Broomfield PD, I'm very happy to say, was one of the very first departments to adopt it. And so we started to focus less on numbers and more on solving problems in communities, and for the very first time, involving folks like yourselves in our policing strategies.
In the 80s, when I came here from Ohio, this was a very rural bedroom community. We were broken up basically into 2 geographical districts as a police officer. You either had the east side of town from Main Street or you had the west side of town.
We brought up about a dozen officers in the various units, everything from animal control, honor guard, a Class A uniform, a Class B uniform, a K-9, a SWAT, a detective, a court security officer. We showed the citizens all the different uniforms that can be seen either in the buildings here or out on the street.
One of the distinguishing things, his patch is a little bit different than some of the other patches to distinguish him from the other officers. He's got a soft badge that he's wearing on his uniform, just so that it's a little bit more comfortable.
The neat thing about the headset that we wear is it has a function button that obviously I can hear all of you, but if I was to shoot a firearm or a flashbang or something loud were to happen, it would still muffle the sound and it wouldn't affect the hearing.
We're about to do a tour and we're going to talk about all the various units and everything that makes up the team in the entire police department. We have the Broomfield combined courts, both municipal and district and county courts, and all the civil courts in this building here. This is our forensics room. This is our laboratory for our CSI Broomfield, if you will. We have 2 criminalists that work behind this door. They do all of the crime scene processing on our big crime scenes. This is our office when we're not in our cars out on the street. This is where we come back to work on our reports. This is where we come back to log in evidence. Once I throw something in there, whether it's a purse, a gun, drugs, whatever it is, I log it, I put it in my computer, I'm sitting here on my computer, I put it in my report, and I shut the door. That can no longer be opened by me. The only time that can be opened is by the evidence custodian, and that is logged as a chain of custody. Behind you are all the forms, and we're going to show you next week all these forms that we carry out in the cars with us. Here's where our 3 animal control officers work out of. They're not here very often because they're often out on the street handling stuff out here. The next 2 set of desks is where all of our motor officers and our traffic officers, this is the traffic unit. So they're also out on the street more times than not, but this is where they would come in to work on their more serious accident reports. This is the beginning of every shift. This is briefing. The officers will come in here, they'll sit down, they'll just kind of get their day started. It's the first 20 to 30 minutes of their day. The sergeant will come up here and they'll talk about crime trends. They'll talk about things to be aware of, BOLOs, be on the lookout, the stuff that we need to know to do the job.
Our citizens have the opportunity to go inside and see the work in all those different divisions. They see a lot more than just a basic police department. They see how a sheriff's department runs as well. So they really get a really behind-the-scenes look at how real police work is done in their community.
People want more information. They want to know more about what we're doing. Each little bit that we've given them, we've talked about patrol, and then tonight is communications. They want more information, so it's spurring more of a curiosity where they continue to want more involvement, see more action, so it's really good.
Our comm center is staffed 24/7, 365, so Christmas morning, we're here. Our presentation tonight was about the Emergency Communications Center, dispatch here at the Broomfield Police Department, where we handle both 911 calls as well as non-emergent calls from the public. Our system is not answered by an automated push 1 for this, 2 for this. I think that it's a good quality that our city has, that we are still answering it. You're getting a human voice every time.
But tonight we're focusing on what citizens need to do when they call 911, what's going to happen when they do, and then they're going to see that response from the dispatchers.
We have all of our computer programs, we can load them in a training mode, and that's what we've done. So it's a real CAD screen, but it's a training side. So the group that's in the EOC is actually going to be making an emergency phone call. He's going to answer it. You guys can squish him in as far as you want so that you can see how he is building this call and the information he's taking. The flip side of that, Evan is going to be our dispatcher. So he's going to take the information Charles is getting over the phone, and he's actually going to dispatch units, be they police or fire, to the call.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Babe, how was work today?
It was fine. What are you doing?
Well,
You know you scare me when you get like this.
That particular incident was supposed to be a domestic violence situation where they actually saw somebody come in and assault the other person.
There's a phone there, Can somebody call 911?
Somebody call 911.
What it does is it allows the citizens who are in the academy to get the experience of actually calling a 911, knowing what kind of questions we're going to be asking over the phone, when we want to keep them on the line as opposed to when we can actually release them from the call. We're trying to get as much information as we can, simulating an incident where they may be under stress or there might be a lot of background noise, but we want them to get a sense of when to call 911, what it's like to call 911, and kind of the pressure that some people may be under when they actually do have to call.
Broomfield 911. Okay, what's your address? Are they conscious right now? Okay, they're unconscious. How's their breathing?
He's in the medical software, asking the information so that he can
So she
provide
is
medical
breathing a little bit, but
instructions.
she's-
Evan over here, he's already got his fire trucks that are responding, that they are en route. So even though we're still on the phone, still getting that information, help is coming.
I really enjoyed the communication with the 911 center, just finding out how they do their job and just how complex their job is, and the various tools and screens that they have to operate and multitask to do their job to the best of their ability.
I think it's excellent that the Broomfield Police Department has offered the Citizens Police Academy and given the citizens a chance to get involved and to learn what we do. It's amazing the response they've had and the number of people that are wanting to take this class and learn more about our department.
Well, it's very important to get all the citizens involved. And the reason for that is because with the citizens involved, we work as a relationship and a partnership with the citizens of the community to solve problems, solve crime, help reduce crime. And without the citizens having knowledge and information as to what they can or cannot do to help us be the best citizens, then we're really not helping ourselves in the team effort.
I would definitely recommend it to everyone. Even if you aren't interested in becoming an officer, it's good to know how everything works so you can appreciate what they do. It's definitely solidified my desire to pursue this. Broomfield would definitely be a department I would want to join.
Do it. It's been a lot of fun. I feel a little more sense of community. As I've been out and about, I've actually seen a few of my fellow classmates and a few officers that I recognize, so it gives more of a sense of community.
I've really enjoyed the program, and I look forward to the new sessions coming up, and the first session has definitely been worth my time.
We are, not just in words, but in actions, truly committed to the Broomfield community. I've been around for most of the police department's history, and I've really enjoyed watching how well we've been able to respond to the needs of the community. The Broomfield Police Department is very important to me. I've dedicated my entire adult life to it, and to see people in the community who are proud of their police department, who want to come and learn more about it, makes me feel good as a person.
We're here at the Broomfield Detention Center, and we're in Block 2 of the Citizens Academy BPD Inside. And this block of classes for the next 4 weeks are all about operations. So tonight is our SWAT night. So we're going to have a presentation from the SWAT operators.
So the purpose of the SWAT team is really to assist other divisions, other police departments. We are purely a support unit. Here in Broomfield, we started our SWAT team in June of 2001 in preparation to become our own county. SWAT's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work. I've always really enjoyed being on a member of a team. There's a measure of athleticism involved with what we do. We have to maintain good physical conditioning and a lot of camaraderie with the other guys on the team, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's hard, fun work.
The SWAT team exhibition was fantastic. I had no idea what these folks did, how they did it, with what kind of tools do they have at their disposal to do the job.
We are on call 24/7, 365. So we're expected to be able to be reached and all of that sort of thing. It can come day, night, at any time. And it's a 3-year commitment initially. We're committed to training hundreds of hours a year. We train for 10 hours a day, just about once every 2 weeks. It's every other Wednesday that we typically train for a 10-hour day. It's a volunteer team. We do it because we like it.
It was interesting to see all the different components they use and how their approaches and their training and their efforts. But what really impressed me the most was their dedication, their camaraderie, their qualifications, and their abilities that they brought together.
It was just really amazing for them to lay that stuff out on a table and let us ask all those questions, and those of us who knew nothing about it, and they were very patient, and I thought that was the best evening.
Basically what you're going to do is you're going to make your announcements at the door, you take it, and you just hit the door with it.
It's just good to let the people know that we are here, we are prepared for the worst case scenario, and hopefully it never happens, but if it does, we're ready to respond.
I felt like these were people that were basically my buddies that were ready and willing and able to carry out whatever was required of them to go about and protect and serve the community.
I'm going to talk to you a little about the Victim Services Unit in the Police Department, and also the Crime Victim Rights Amendment, which we follow, which provides services to crime victims, which is mandated under the state. We provide crisis intervention to crime victims. Crisis intervention is a form of short-term counseling. We were designed to be a stopgap in between the victim support system and the officer detective leaving the scene, so that they're not traumatized and crying and the officer needs to go to the next call.
Victim services was another area that I didn't know very much about. I had seen it on television like everybody else, but it was great to hear about what they can provide to victims of crime. Protecting the community goes beyond flashing lights on a car and sirens. There is help here right in our own community to help people that have been affected by some type of a crime. I think it's fantastic that we have these kinds of services available to the community.
To be able to help people out in the heat of the moment when their lives have been torn apart by whatever that event was, and to have someone step in that can get you to the right person and help you get through those first events, I think is an amazing thing that Broomfield PD does.
It's important to let victims know that they have rights. It's also important to let victims know and family members know if their child, loved one is a victim of a crime, that they have specific rights afforded to them, so that they have the information at their hand to have resources and referrals and information about their criminal case.
If you are a victim of crime, City of Broomfield Police Department has a way to help you through that. You don't have to go it alone. You don't have to find your own counselors. We have it here. These people can help.
Tonight we have the opportunity to teach these folks a little bit about what we do every day, kind of how we process scenes, the different methods we use in the lab, and things that they can expect if we come to their house. And so we will respond to the majority of death scenes, which include homicides, suicides, accidental deaths, and even from time to time natural deaths.
The CSI demonstration was fascinating, and it was great to hear about how we do forensic investigations in Broomfield. And it made me feel better that we have those facilities available to us as citizens of this community.
We have many different processes that we use, but there are some basic processes that are kind of like our go-to that we know does produce really good results, and that is what we're going to try first when it comes to that type of evidence. So this is going to be the phenolphthalein station, and as we discussed, it's to determine if there's blood. Here we have 3 different little chemicals set up. What you'll do is you'll take your swab and you will slightly moisten it with the water, and we have it marked number 1, so use that one first. You will then select an area on this carpet which you believe to be as blood. We have 5 different stations set up. Each are going to be a different technique that we would use to process an item or something that we would do while we are at the scene.
And you just apply it with either the paintbrush here or these fabulous little swabs that we've got on the table.
All right, did anyone? There you go. Right, pink.
I had a feeling that with blood.
Anytime that you are touching the sticky side, it's taking your skin cells, and so that's what it's reacting with, is your skin cells. There's the CSI effect, which for us in the field is very hard to overcome, because a lot of people think that what they see on television is what we do, and unfortunately there's no way that we can solve a crime within 45 minutes. So we like to let them know kind of how we do things and the difference between what they see on TV and the truth.
It was really nice for them to let us do hands-on stuff so that we could get an idea of what it is that they really do rather than watching it on TV. It's a lot more involved. It's way more detail-oriented than you would get an idea of from the TV. And so I thought it was excellent to let us play with that directly so that we would have a better idea of what it really takes to accomplish fingerprints and pictures and have them actually turn out to be worth something.
My wife and I have been involved with the Neighborhood Watch for some years, and so when this came up, it seemed like a very good idea to get involved to learn more about the police department and the work that's done here in Broomfield.
I thought there was probably more to protecting my community, my immediate community, than just what I was doing with Neighborhood Watch. I thought it was really intriguing to understand what goes on behind the scenes, what everybody does, how they do it, and why they do what they do.
I believe it says that they're dedicated citizens who want to know more about their community and know more about law enforcement and how services work and how our services are afforded to them.
It says a lot that they are, willing to come out, find out what we really do. They're interested in maybe possibly looking into the field, at a later date.
The thing I've been impressed with is that whenever we have asked questions, we simply get an answer. There isn't any hemming and hawing and trying to decide if they want to answer that or how they're going to answer that. They've really just answered our questions about whatever it was that we wanted to know about how things work in the police department. And I think that that's a really strong statement about the police department and about this program.
This is a commitment of time and effort. And I had no idea that this kind of work was going on in the background.
The people that I've met here, the police officers, the support staff have all been real professional, and I can just really tell that they enjoy their work and enjoy what they do.
We try to work with the community and police with the community rather than to police the community itself. And it's just another way of opening our arms and creating partnerships with the community and working with them to make Broomfield a safer place.
We're at the City and County of Broomfield Detention Facility, and we are on Block 3 of the Citizens Academy. This is our final stretch, making it 4 weeks and then a final night of graduation. I've got a core of 20 people that are coming back for this final block, and we've all taken the summer off, had a great break, and just that commitment of we're back here to finish this up, finish up the information, and hopefully take everything that they've learned out into the community.
For the next 5 weeks, you're going to be hearing all about the Support Services Bureau. These are the 94 employees that work behind the scenes, basically, to keep everything going.
We're covering things in the Support Bureau. Those things would be the Detention Center. Specifically tonight, we will take everybody a little tour of some history, and then we actually will go downstairs and tour the facility.
I'll be talking to you about how this little house on the prairie got built. Actually, it's a little big house on the prairie, I like to call it. So, well, tonight we're going to talk about the detention division and how it got created, and we're also going to do a tour of the facility. When you're looking at this facility from over on Sim Street or down in Walnut Creek, you can barely see the roof, much less any part of the jail. So it's one of those things that's truly out of sight, out of mind.
Come on in, everybody.
A lot of times you don't get the inside look of a jail unless you've been arrested, and so it's a unique experience and a unique perspective that they get to see the inside of the jail.
Well, the jail tour was very interesting because we got to do the process from the beginning all the way through the end that a person would take that was coming in, that was being booked.
There's 2 ways you can get into our booking area. You can get in this nice way, or you can get in this way. This is our booking area. We don't like to utilize it as a pod or house people down here, but there are special circumstances when we need to.
I found it fascinating. I think just learning about how they're checked in and the process they go through, it was so informative.
Unfortunately, yeah, you're in jail. But can it be a better experience than worse? It can be. You know what I mean? It's just what you make of it. A lot of the books that you see in here when we pass through, they're donated by people. Our dentist always donates boxes at a time. The storage that's in here, the refrigerators, the freezers and stuff that's in here, the equipment that they have in here will feed 200 people if this facility was full. Broomfield has probably one of the best, if not the best, camera facility, cameras within the facility I've ever seen, which is awesome because at least I know that we're going to be safe. Somebody's watching us. He has lunch, and then here's dinner. It smells good, right? What they do is they work on a calorie count of 2,900 to 3,200 calories a day.
Just a better understanding of the booking process, what it's like to come into the facility, why does it take so long if somebody that they know maybe has been arrested, and just exactly what goes on when the movement of people, and it's not just, bring them in and close the door. There's a lot of legalities that go along with that. So we hope that they obtain a better understanding of that.
We need to be faster, stronger, quicker than our opponents.
Tonight we are going over the emergency response team, ERT, so they handle any disturbances within the jail, whether it be a barricaded person, suicidal person. They're the ones that respond to any critical incidents inside the jail.
Tonight we talked about who we are and why we exist, why do we feel we're significant, and we talked about some of the equipment that we use. We talked about some of the reasons why we would be called out. It's about the safety and security of the facility. It's about the safety and security of the inmates. So what we do is we provide that safety and security.
When the jail opened in 2001, I was one of the original 30 that were hired to work here. It's an environment where you could work a long time and enjoy doing it, and that's exactly what's happened to me.
I can't say enough about how they comport themselves, their equipment. They're so professional. I just thought they were great.
Team mentality, the team before I mentality, and that's what we believe in.
Yeah, if they have incidents in the jail, it's nice to know that they have a team that can come in and handle it, whether somebody doesn't want to come out of their cell or a riot has started or if there's a fight, how they can come in and intervene in a very quick manner. It's interesting to see what tactics they use and the tools that they have at their disposal.
Every ERT member has their own go bag filled with this equipment. Military term, our gas bag, that's the bag that holds the gas mask. This will handle CN gas, CS gas. Both of those are basically tear gas.
And what we'll do is we'll get all in line and one at a time, just to let them know we're coming, and we're coming in force, we'll just spark it. One of our tools that we use is the Ultron electric shield. I would come in, cant it, and to make sure that he didn't come at me, I'd spark it. It's a great deterrent. Nobody's ever touched the shield.
I'm going to move on to the less lethal shotgun. Less lethal, obviously, it's highly marked. This is called a drag stable beanbag round. Basically a beanbag. It's basically a sock with little bean-size elements inside of it. So when you shoot it out the shotgun, it's traveling about 350, 400 feet per second. We run a very tight program in the jail, which kind of deters almost every inmate we get in here because we have so many rules and we do nitpick that they just get tired of fighting the system and then just comply. But
emergency response team impressed upon me anyway that sometimes they have a very difficult job to do.
I think it's really cool. I really enjoy it. I think it's a privilege and an honor to be able to display some of our stuff, just kind of show off some of our equipment because I'm proud and I really enjoy this type of stuff.
We work side by side with the court staff and the judges and the DA's office and the public defenders, and we facilitate all of the in-custody inmates. We take them to and from court.
Tonight we are talking about the transport van, which is the unit that transports any inmates to and from court, hearings, and then also to and from other facilities within the state of Colorado.
All the medical and dental transports, so if an inmate needs a tooth pulled or if an inmate's got a surgery that's scheduled, we facilitate all of that as well.
He explained not only the van, but how their prisoners are transported.
It's interesting.
I wouldn't want to be one of the prisoners.
We'll put the handcuffs on them, and we'll put the leg shackles on them, and we'll put it around them just like this. Tight, get tighter. What I'll do then is I'll apply the leg shackles to them, so just lift up the right ankle. And that's pretty much it as far as, you know, our typical daily restraints as far as going to and from court and to and from other facilities. We'll secure it up just like this, and then we'll lock it from the front of the vehicle.
Just that that's what they do for a living, day in and day out, going back and forth between the jail or other jails and the court, and it's very interesting to see how they operate that.
Well, anytime you have an educated citizen, you know, they're a supporter of the police department, and the more supporters we can have, the better we are.
There are so many departments that you just don't think about. They all make up a team.
Been a volunteer firefighter for 20 years myself, so I know that, kind of know that side of it. But just to see how the police department works and get to know some of their officers and just understand what they go through on a daily basis. I think they're open to working with the community that they're protecting, that they hold the citizens in high regard to allow them to come in and see how they operate.
They're actually excited to bring citizens in and say, this is what we do, this is our life, this is how we do our job.
It is really interesting and it's awesome to see the energy and compassion that the citizens have, and they want to learn more about the police department, they want to learn more about the jail. Or once we get here, just their enthusiasm rubs off on us and makes us excited to go through another night and talk about what we do every day.
First off, I want to compliment once again our Broomfield Police Honor Guard. They present the colors at a lot of different functions. I've had a lot of compliments on the work that they do, and we put a lot of time and effort into training. I want to start off tonight by, first of all, congratulating the graduates, and also thanking everybody who's a family member who's attending tonight's graduation. Everybody that you see over here on my left has a regular job. And so taking on the duties and responsibility of putting together this academy we've done for the last 13 weeks was on top of everything else they're responsible for. And I've heard a lot of comments from folks that are in the class about how great of a program it's been. The historical traditions of a police department are that the police are the public and the public are the police. And that has really become more evident, I think, over the last 20 years as the Broomfield PD and a lot of others have started community-oriented policing, which means that we work very closely with the public. We hope that you guys keep up that partnership that we have formed the last couple of months. It's the people that make this organization go. And if you take a look at the people who've not only been presenting the classes to you the last couple of months, but some of the other folks you might have met as they were brought in, I think you see what I'm talking about. Thank you for taking a part in this program, and congratulations, and I'll be seeing you in a little bit. Thank you.